Hey students, it's Anna Otto just for a real quick introduction to our next unit. So Unit 3 covers the adulthood periods with chapters 13 and 14 looking at early adulthood, talking about the ages from 18 to 39. So basically the 20s and 30s. I don't know if any of you had this as part of your childhood experience, but I can remember being on the playground and the little taunt song if you wanted to tease a boy and a girl about first comes love, then comes marriage, then comes baby in the baby carriage. And in a lot of ways, that speaks to some of the expectations that society often has for this age period, that they're going to find a significant other, fall in love, get married, settle down, and have a family, start their family. Certainly, that's somewhat outdated. Things aren't quite as linear, and families certainly don't always look like man, woman, and child anymore. But still, there's a lot of truth to that stereotype or that expectation, that social norm. Also, full time jobs. Along with settling down, finding the love of your life, and starting your family, you're expected to settle into a career. And so, over on the left here, I don't know if any of you are old enough to know of Dolly Parton's first movie, 9 to 5, where she starred along with Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin, just looking at the world of work, office work, and looking at some, gendered um, norms and expectations, which unfortunately some of which haven't gone, but had to throw in over on the right what modern day work sometimes looks like now. And I know some of you can relate to this either as students and or as workers with family and other commitments at home happening along with trying to get your work done. So, certainly there is an expectation of figuring out what you want to do for the rest of your life, right? And then getting yourself settled into a job to do that. I know for some young people, holidays can be an uncomfortable time when you get together with family. You might be happy to see family, but especially as you move into and through your 20s in particular, maybe getting a lot of questions about why you aren't doing certain things that the older generation maybe feels you should be doing. So, just a little tongue in cheek look at that. Here is a more comprehensive list of some of the things that are going on in early adulthood. So, in physical development, believe it or not, is actually when senescence or biological aging begins. We talk about development up until we start a period of decline. And while decline tends to be more measurable than functional, meaning that we can measure it at a very micro level with special tools, but typically not feel it affecting us day to day. But that senescence or that biological aging, that decline is starting as early adulthood, and different systems decline at different rates and become more noticeable at different rates. We do see certainly still some growth and development happening in early adulthood, though, particularly the beginning of early adulthood. This is the point at which the prefrontal cortex of the brain, for example, finishes maturing. So that 18 to 25 is still a period of maturation for the brain. Puberty is the process that really helps to define adolescence. And by the time one moves into early adulthood, there's typically a peak in sexual activity. It's when individuals are at their reproductive prime, meaning the easiest time to conceive and reproduce. Although, again, as early adulthood, we start to see declines in that. And you read more about that in the text, and we have some more information about that in the module. Cognitive development, we talk about post-formal cognition. If you remember with Piaget, formal operations was the last stage he talked about, and formal operations was the last stage he talked about. So there is still certainly some change that can happen after adolescence, and some theorists who agreed with what Piaget had to say, but wanted to describe changes beyond adolescence. We collectively talk about that as post-formal expertise, becoming expert at something, having very specialized knowledge increases, as does creativity, um, and different kind of way. And as we already noted, it's also a time when people are being expected to train for and settle into careers. You read about this idea of emerging adulthood, 18 to 25. So that kind of transition between adolescence and adulthood. Read about Erickson talking about intimacy, that tying in with that idea of love, family life cycle. This is the period when most individuals move out of their familial home and start their own independent lives and home. Also, as we said, a time when most people marry and have children. Cohabitation is living together without marriage, more and more common in the US and other Western countries. And we also see changes in other relationships, including sibling relationships, where siblings tend to become more companionate. They're at more of an equal playing field, oftentimes bonding with each other over those crazy parents that they might share. So, just a quick overview of some of the things to look forward to. Okay, talk to you later. Bye.